Little breaking on that. Love the swipes. Oh my god! Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield and I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States. We're going to be taking a look at a Patreon request. Shout out to Yocho for this request. It is going to be Chung Has Play featuring CHUNG. This is a choreography video, and if there's a music video, we're going to take a look at that as well. But without further ado, we are going to just check this out. I've heard so many things about this one. After I took a look at Stay Tonight, so many people in the comments were like, Jess, you gotta look at play. We're here, let's play. Cute. So during a V Live, they did this. This is cute. Gorgeous. Here's the deal. I love Chong Mo's tone, probably one of my favorite rappers in the K-hip hop scene. Oh, I can't wait to hear the audio in like that 4K quality. Oh. Yes. That was a very interesting way to get out of the dolphin. Oh! Yes! Beautiful. Hey! Nice. Little breaking on that. Love the swipes. Oh my god! Oh my god, this is awesome. Oh, the Thomas flares, the chair freezes, the 6-step. Ugh. Oh my god. That was incredible. Oh, I cannot wait to analyze this. Let's go ahead and look at some more footage. Do we have a performance version? Yes, we do. We're gonna watch it. Let's go. We got the 4K quality sound this time. And that was just a one take for a V Live. This is like after prep and all that mess. I do recognize a couple of guys in this. But I will tell you what, some of their movement qualities with some of the guys in their hips, it makes so much more sense why they had a bit of a stiffness in the lower part of the body, because I was going to say that. It's because they're breakers. That's why. Ugh, what a surprise. Yeah. Chongmo reminds me, you know how T-Pain was like killer on the auto-tune? Chongmo is the auto-tune of K-hip-hop to me. It's so good. So that whole visual with the dolphin and then they all take it and invert it into a leveled circular formation. Crazy. Oh, man. I love the versatility of styles represented. Yes, we got ballroom represented, breaking represented, got a little bit of everything. Little pin drop, doing their own kind of thing, love it. Little turtle freeze. No, not turtle freeze, that was a frog freeze. I'm gonna be real with you, that V-Live, I think that V-Live was more impressive. Oh man, like, I know that sounds awful, but like, the quality of this is divine, but I'm just telling you, what makes that V-Live so freaking sick is the fact, yeah, it was a one take, but you could truly appreciate a lot of the formations and visuals that they had. Let's look at this music video. Let's go. We're just going. Here we go. Such a fan. It's got that summer vibe, you know what I mean? Wow. Yeah, part of me wishes Chongmo was in this, but alas, it's all good. Wow. Oh man. Okay. Love it. Yes. A little bit of Alt-A represented. Got a little bit of 1 mil represented, it feels like, yeah? That was good. Yeah. Oh man. Wow. Sheesh. And if that would be a freaking sick car commercial if you ever saw one for that right there. That was dope. Let's go ahead and go back to the dance practice. So I think it's a pretty safe assumption that Lechika choreographed this. I mean, let me go double check, but I think that's the case. Okay, double checked again, and it's Rian from Lechika. So yeah, she's also the one who did State Tonight. We saw her in Street Woman Fighter. Bada bing, bada boom, awesome. Also, side note, yes, I did say it, the fits and the costuming. Okay, so I went and I dug just a little bit deeper looking at the choreography stuff, choreography notes. A lot of people were saying there was like an attempt at samba, which it did give off, that's hence why I said I needed to double check. It was giving paso doble costuming and environment, but there really wasn't a lot of paso doble involved in it. Maybe a hint of flamenco, hint of samba, but it was really like a mesh pool of it. So whether or not like that was the best approach to it, personally for me, I think going like, if you're gonna go full paso, like go full paso doble if you're gonna do it. Because that honestly, I mean, when you think about the track doesn't really call for paso doble, but concept does. So that's why you kind of have to pick, you gotta either pick the ballroom style and then make the environment match that. I think she could have gotten away with samba just as effectively, like true samba. But remember, my choreography scope stems from more street styles and not as much in ballroom, but I have trained in ballroom before, and I have an empathetic lens to the demands of the body in converting the language between a street style context and a ballroom context. So keep that in mind too, that Chung-ha, her scope of learning is not the same as other people. So like her performer, like that danced with her, he's a ballroom dancer, form divine. For her, she is a visitor of the style, to put it lightly, if that makes sense, right? So you can see her scopes putting more on the feminine realm, you know, with Vogue and whacking. She has more understanding of those more effectively than what you saw her in ballroom. So keep that in mind. My apologies if you are somebody who is heavy affiliated with ballroom. For me, projecting paso doble, that was still technically a reach. In comparison, like in environment, I was kind of basing it more off of that. But when you really look at the techniques, it's really not a paso doble setup routine at all. So, but alas, let's go ahead and get into it from here. I do appreciate the attempt, but also just like I want to see an authentic representation of techniques and styles in other facets. Like, don't just get people who don't know how to break to try to do breaking. It's not going to hit the same. That would be the same thing. Like, I appreciate she got people, like being real, appreciate she got people that are like, that do a very good job within the crafts and the styles that she's wanting to represent. That can be a really big positive we take from this. But I absolutely love the choreo. I think just that's my one big note, that I gotta stand behind those that represent ballroom. It's not the best ballroom section that you will ever see in choreography, and I really think they should have stuck to a style, either samba or paso doble, and not hybrid it. with whatever they added, because it kind of lowers and waters down the quality a lot of times, especially for her to being a visitor of it. People are going to be more prone to critique, if that makes sense. That's just my note. Now, everybody tone setting right here. I really like it. Nice and still, very stoic. Now, I do know for here, this is a one take just for fun, like for live. So I'm not really going to focus so much on the cleanliness, but more so just the techniques and the formations and the dynamics and what we just like about it. Because we saw what it looks like in prime form music video. That was freaking sick. Super cool. So I like how we have, you know, a lot of movement, a lot of rotations that allow this really nice transition to take place in the front to just be nice and seamless. Super good. Everybody goes boom, da-doom, doom. Notice they switch from more of a rotational kind of isolation to a more syncopated, more staccato-based accented chest iso. Boom, da-doom, doom, doom. Really like that choice as well. That brrrr, I like that as well. That hit, everybody extends it out to the outside. Notice with some of our guys, they're showcasing a position, but it's not the same as utilizing that chest to make that happen. I would say if you want to watch a couple people, like when I saw breaking, and it made so much more sense on a lot of different things I was noticing. So notice my guy right here, notice his weight placement, notice where his hips are as well. You'd also tell the difference between how you would see some of our other individuals, like some of our ladies. You could see like with some of their chest, they're having it go with the line, and you notice it's just where your weight is, it just hits a little different, and it's more, he's kind of teetering his torso a little bit over, whereas you want to have it more of neutral, and then you want to have it isolated. So that's just, you know, it depends on what you want to go with. That little hit, really nice, enjoying it. I love this choice where you have one of our guys, I think this is my Mr. Ote member. Is it kinky? I don't know if it is or not. You let me know. I was so bad. When it comes to SMF, horrible, dreadful with names. Like, you could totally be embarrassed for me. Like, it's just not awful with names. I got the crews, and I could kind of place people with which crew they were in. Could not tell you their names to save their life. Anyway, but my guy right here, I love how he chose, how he hits it, boom, 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 and notice that he's taking his weight and shifting it from front to back, but is still catering that stage right, stage left rotation, or that kind of weight shift, which is really nice. And I love that everybody's kind of making subtly different choices, but they're all complementing in frame to what CHUNG's doing. And then you have some nice stillness happening over here, really nice, very stoic, very suave, and then you have your group of 4 pop up in a diagonal. Our guys drop down, so now it's nice and clean, represented what you saw earlier over here. So now it feels like, okay, this group is being nice and stoic and still, so now we can move on and see what's happening over here. Then we have one of our guys right here that is not doing anything, which is fine. They go a nice little rotation, ding, 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 nice little gallop chasse. You have your group now from 4 to 5. You have a nice little partner section, D to D. He is very, very stiff. He's a breaker. Give him a break. Goes back in. Takes it. Wonderful moment of just, that was so seamless. Really nice, great strength there. And I love his tattoo. Looks great. It looks similar to what I have. Which is kind of fun. And then I love how they break it away. I want you to notice for this is that, yes, you can see like the head and the intention of the head is there, but you could tell there's a little bit of an arch happening in the lower back with my guy over here, and that's what he is lacking over here. It just stems from what styles that you've trained in. That's just what comes with that a lot of times. Chungha looks great, doing a good job so far. Just goes, da. Really nice seeing that, turning it around. Diving it in. Now the style, I've been trying to pinpoint what exactly the style of all this is. It does give summer island vibes, but I mean, is it like a potential hybrid of all of the dance hall Afro influences? Potentially, I would say dance hall hybrid, if anything. But even then, there's not really, there's probably a couple of things that I could cite in terminology, but I don't have enough confidence behind that in order for me to be like, okay, we're here. So I guess that's what answer I'll lock in, because I hadn't technically said it. Yeah, I said it about everything else, was very clear. But here, it's just it's like the Rian dance hall hybrid of her choreographic perspective of musicality. Like, it's just not, I don't know. I don't know how to word it, if that makes sense. It's not the same as when they do whacking or when they do Vogue. It just feels more like that commercial equivalence of it, right? So that would be my note there. Bleeding it in. That meltdown, which is really nice. And I love the commitment all the way to the head. You could tell there's an arch happening in the back because of where those hips are sitting. I love it taking it here. I love this. And they peel it down side to side. Bring it back in. And then we go. And it's super nice with a drop, 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 drop. Beautiful swing, swing, and up. Nice throwaway of the arm. Here we go. We take it. We make it a nice little moment around. hitting it through, boom, bringing it around. That little play, you could tell with some of our guys that you're pretty stiff. I would say my guy, Mr. LA over here, pretty stiff. We know why. It's fine. Whatever. Yeah, but he's doing a fantastic job. Do, and then play. Yeah, da-da-da-da, and a nice little just simple jack happening there, and play, nice syncopated, ba, 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 nice accent, taking everybody, framing them more towards the outside, so it allows Chung as your center point by naturally, but then you have everybody, you know, just span out, so it makes the formation have depth, but also makes it very full. I like that a lot, looks great. Da, 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 da. I like that. That was also super cute. You have, of course, I think my one note that I would also give is we are seeing a pretty common denominator of just people kind of just sitting around and like waiting for their part. And that's something whenever I watch something like D-League, which is a competitive, you know, professional dance league, like that's just a note that I give of you don't want it to look like you have members, like you want to utilize everybody that's in your frame as much and effectively as possible, but also this is a completely different field or line of, you know, entertainment or types of choreography. It's not meant for professional dance league, nor should it be, and that's fine. So these kind of concessions I think are fine, especially whenever there's a cinematic understanding or other things that are happening cinematically that you're not going to see that in the final cut, if that makes sense. So like that for me doesn't really bother me as much because this is a one take and this is not the original intention of how the choreography is supposed to be seen, unless they perform it live. But does that kind of make sense? So that's just my general note. It's not really, it's just something I always, you know, it just kind of depends on what they're there for, but also, I mean, a good chance they're about to be used in a way that they needed to be there, like she's about to sit on them, right? Makes total sense. So that's why it's totally fine. So having the dancers go from that every other and then right here into a beautiful 3 little groupings where you have your 2, you have Simis and you have Gabby and you have, see, what's funny is with the Street Woman Fighter, I think I understand more people's names there because they were my first groups I looked at. Street Man Fighter was a whole nother ball game, bless it. But I like the melt through, that was super nice. The guys created and established a beautiful level with her there. Looks great. And then having everybody come back in, beautiful moment, the little head, and then they go and they reverse what they did. Super fun. Play it on repeat. Hitting it through, da, 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 and a play. A nice little roll, hey, play. I would say my guy right here also was a bit on the stiffer side. I noticed him too. Which those guys, some of their stuff was really fun. The D-D-D, and they're doing a fantastic job on the double taps, looks great. They don't stick out like a sore thumb, all that to say. Like, I don't want it to come across as, wow, he's super stiff, you know, good thing he's a breaker. Like, no, he's holding his own fine, but I would have said something about it if he wasn't a breaker. Like, I would have said something as, like, just be more mindful, you know, of you want to make sure that your hips, like how you're placing your weight in your hips and how you're utilizing it does carry more fullness throughout the movement and that kind of stuff, which it still does. But we also have to understand, like I said, of if you're an individual who's trained in a particular style and you're being asked to use that style, of course, as like a feature moment, but you have to showcase another style that maybe is not your proficient style that you were hired for. Does that make sense? Honestly, Chung doing ballroom. It's like very similar. It's something that you're very much a student of. So some of our guys here are very much students of these little choreographic sequences, even though their style that they're bringing is very different in the sense of, you know, like breaking is very, very different in groove, right? So in this case, it's if anything, these should be really good opportunities for everyone to be a little bit more gracious that they're human, and it showcases their just their areas of growth, but not in a way to be critical, but just showcasing. Just because you're fluent in one style doesn't mean that you should be projected on that you should be fluent in all styles, right? That's not practical to really think about, especially like for somebody like Chung Ha, who's a working artist, who's an idol, who has a schedule that, you know, for me, I'm very appreciative that she's able to showcase people who do represent those styles respectively, right? So that's just my, like, in general side note of don't be too critical of people whenever they're like a student of a style. Whenever you're looking and you see the style that they're doing very, very well, that they're featured in, it makes sense why maybe they could be a little stiffer in other choreography, is so they can still be utilized. Does that kind of make sense? So that's my little, in general, just little tidbit. I like that, dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee, and they're clean. The choreography is clean, so I would say that's fine. Brushing that arm up looks great. Turning it in, I love that. They drop, boom, nice little isolation, go to the other side. Then we have our guys coming in, boom, nice little switch. They're all doing a pretty good job on this. I like the tension on the last one, boom, boom, boom. That's really nice. It really carries over. I like the fact that she used guys for the Changmo section, because Changmo has a really deep voice, and with the auto tune too. Like, I'm just a fan of Changmo. I have used his music all the time, and I do like it. It just creates a different type of pacing, and the choreography is subtly different. It has more of a groundedness to it in this one, but different type of groundedness where you're not using the arch of the back as much as what you were using earlier. So it's really nice. It does give that more, what's the word? Notice with some of them, they're curling that arm, and then others are keeping it straight out. So that would be, you know, little cleanliness things there. But it goes back to the notes that we've said before. But what was I going to say? I was going to say something. It is giving like choreography, not like Usher or anything, but like when you think like male artists, you think this type of choreography that comes with it, if that makes sense. From here, I do like that choice where you have your 2 guys that are up and then you have your 4 that are lower. I really like the complementariness of what Chungha's doing. I like her, honestly, it does give me a little bit of like, if you think about Paris, whenever she did the skeleton crew for Rihanna's Super Bowl, it kind of gives a little bit of that kind of energy, but they're like freaking, you know, like their fullness is so grimy and slimy is like a really great way to word it. Chungha really has that really well done here, and my guys just have that tap and that little rock influence because of everything I've already talked about. So nothing crazy there. I do like seeing that. I love how she takes it boom, boom, boom. She does have a nice little, you know, posture influence into what you've seen in her hybrid student-esque ballroom feature moment, that kind of stuff, you know, that peel, Notice with our guys, they expand it out to the outside, and then my guys up, expand it up to the top, dip. She goes as she rotates it around, a little clap. Of course, that does give a little like flamenco vibe. So it just feels like a huge like enmeshment of very different techniques and styles of ballroom that are going to come into play later. It's a nice little moment, and I think that would have been fine if she didn't do ballroom. I think, but also once again, hopefully I'm not gonna keep speaking on it, because that's not really my general scope as effectively. I just know a lot more about it than because I've taken class, and I've a lot of my colleagues are in the ballroom scene. So I am very acquainted with it by affiliation and by empathetic learning. I love this moment right here. Really nice. I love the representation of the different, different arms. Half the group arms are up, half the group arms are out. Looks fantastic. Take it, turn, nice little rotation around, a nice little dig there. Boom. I love that right there. Looks fabulous. They take it, nice little body roll to bring up the energy. Dropping it down, switching it through, little dolphin. Now this is actually astronomically impressive. So I want you to notice here, these guys right here. Notice normally you see people just come back up. I was expecting the circle to just stay maintained at the same level. But those 2 guys that I just pointed out are going to enter and be the lower level. Then you have a mid-level, and then you have an upper level. This was very impressive. They come back in. But so instead of going all the way up based on their prep, they actually just inverted it to the inside. That's so freaking cool. That was probably one of my favorite parts of the whole routine. It was super cool. Nice little accent there, and then they do a nice little peel around. Look at them go! And they go from a high to a low. And then she has her moment. She takes it, boom! Nice little control with the hand, and then she drops it ever so slightly. Looks great. Yep. Boom, da-da-da-da-da. A little play. Guys are doing a pretty good job. Bay. Yeah, bay. Normally you have a little bit of his chest and hips to complement each other, and some of our guys just don't really have that. That's fine. Our ladies are holding it down pretty good. A little hit, little pelvic thrust there. Pop, play. And there's our ladies. Yeah, so it goes D. Digging through, boom. I really like that rotation on that. Looks really cute. Set me free. They all come in. Once again, we have that just that slide in like we saw before. Difference is Chungha's in the middle now instead of elevated with 2 of our guys. Looks totally fine. They all melt. Beautiful. And then right here we have a new guy. So notice how he's using his chest and his hips. to match all of this. All of this here just feels like a huge hybrid. That right there, like can y'all tell me what style of ballroom that is? For me, I was thinking waltz or foxtrot or like something like that. I don't think it's foxtrot, but it's one of those styles that they take it and they bring it around. I don't think it's tango, is it? Maybe it's tango. Like they're hybriding like paso doble and tango and a little bit of samba, salsa, maybe cha-cha, who knows? But like none of those styles, like there could be some subtlety and overlap, but they're all different. So I think that's why, like, if you want to showcase a style, it is always really helpful to be very clear on what style you're representing within that particular genre. Just like with breaking, I appreciated the fact that we had like breaking variants taking place when we saw it, because it helped me appreciate it for what it was, but also showcase their competency and their fluency and the innovation within it. So that's my little note there. This here, that was a nice moment, nice pose there, taking it in. The add-on here, you have more guys. The lean through all of this looks fine. Making it through. Love that little accent there. Honestly, there's a good chance she could have, like, just, this will probably be maybe the last time I talk about it, but she, notice how she had like these little interactions with the guys as she was transitioning through. She could have made that the entire section, just her interacting, doing something different with every guy, and it would have been honestly just as effective, if that makes sense. And two, if she didn't just go with one guy and do all of these different things, if she went with each individual person and did literally those same things, but she did it separately, it would have showcased something of like, these are all different styles or this, that, or the other. And I think it would have been a little bit more forgiving in the sense of just not being established in a particular ballroom style, if that kind of makes sense. But then also people could argue that, well, their dance hall hybrid choreography that we saw earlier, if that is not really, true dance hall or true, fundamental style that they've gleaned from. So I think that's another thing that I guess we could just briefly talk about, is like the only style that we see here that is truly fundamentally sound, in the sense of you see the progressions, the key elements, a lot of those things represented for the style is going to be the breaking. Everything else has a lot of not choreographic influence, but you have an influence based on whoever choreographed it. Like, it's more of a hybrid than it is an actual authentic representation of that specific style that they're doing, if that kind of makes sense. So I guess that'll be where I personally land on, and I know it takes me, I verbally process while I watch these too, so keep that in mind. If sometimes I go and I refine something that I say earlier, it's because I'm learning at the same time, just in context. But all that to say, I really, really, really like this dance. It looks really cool. I love the song. Song's super dope. I just think that the beauty is showcasing so much versatility. Is there a way that the versatility could have been done to make it, what's the word? More authentic, especially based on environment of concept that you went with? I think so, but also they didn't ask me, and that's okay. I'm just here for a good time and enjoying what we're seeing. So moving on from here, I like the vibes in, dipping it down, like that choice with the levels, look fun, coming back in, nice little transition. How she goes is she kind of initiates a little pas de bourrée action to getting the ladies back in. I like how she hits it, boom, and then you have everybody kind of respond. They do a round off, back layout, let's go. Bring it through, and then our guys. So this is the same choreography that we've already seen earlier. We're gonna take a look what the guys are doing. So they are doing, let me see how well D-League and all my terminology research of having to get better at breaking terminology is doing. So from here, they do like a little shootout variant. They take it and they do a nice, they're just doing, honestly, I think they're doing just footwork. They take it, bring it down, they switch it out, D-D-D-D. Switching through, oh my gosh. Well, they're not technically that clean, so it's a bit tricky. So they're doing, I don't think they're doing very top rock variants. I like they do a little swipe there into, you have a couple different freezes. So you have some people that are doing, instead of doing a Nike freeze. Okay, so we have a flag freeze. We have I think it's not an elbow freeze, but I think I was trying to do a chair freeze. He's doing a one-handed air freeze. And then I think a one-handed air freeze. Cool. Then you have your ballroom once again, but it's more like salsa. Free, na, 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 repeat. That was gorgeous. Her leg on that was gorgeous. Super cute. Right there, to a little back. It feels like a little back walk over. They take it. I love it. They go, they take it. What do they do? Is it a butterfly twist? It was like a bee twist or something like that. But we're going into, we have so many different things going on. It's a little party in the back. You have a Thomas Flair happening. You got a little bit of 6-step variants. You have a little 3-step happening. A little Zulu spin variant happening there. There's your 6-step right here. God, it's gorgeous. I mean, this is all really cool. Right here, you have a little bit of house. We have 2 guys doing house. Where was that? Why am I only seeing that here? That makes me a little... I wish I saw more house. Why are we waiting till now to just show it? So we have breaking a whole little sequence. Super cool. He goes, he takes it. What did he do? How did he drop into that? Okay, so he drops in. Honestly, they are... I mean, here's the deal. Being real. Like, they're... I do know that this is just a like run through. This isn't like the official music video or anything like that. They are doing a lot of like, they are crashing just a little bit. A lot of minor crashing happening here. A lot of their choices. I mean, they're doing it, but if they did that out of battle, it would not go well. Go over as well. But some of the stuff looks freaking great. I'm not saying that they don't know what's going on. Oh, they do. I just think that you can tell it's just a run through. So I'm not really going to touch on that as much, but I'm also not going to, I don't want you guys to think that I don't see it, if that makes sense. I think it's my point in that. That Thomas Flair was clean though, what he did right there. That was pretty good. Right there. So like for me, we see a little bit of like a salsa step and a little bit of house here. And then of course you see like 6 steps happening right there. A nice little heel tap. Picking it up, little farmer variant. Honestly, I wish there was more house in this. I think that would have been freaking cool. They all come up, nice little swipe, they go, nice little pick up with the feet into a little jazz split, they go, and they finish it out. Why do we have to wait till the end to see our 2 guys do house? I'm a little sad by that, honestly. That was super cool. Let's just admire the house one more time. They go little toe taps, take it around, very nice, pick it up. The farmers, like I said, they go take it over the little sidewalk, come on. Turning it in, they drop it, and they finish. And then the guys in the front finish in a jazz split. So, did I like it? Yes, I loved it. Did I think that we could have explored more authentic variants of the base choreography in the ballroom? Yes, I really think it would have been really fun to explore a style of ballroom that was complementary to the track and then let that influence the costuming and environment that they set for that scene. That would have been, if I was a performance director, that's the call I would have made in that regard. But also, did they ask me? No, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? It's fine. But that would be like one of my notes, if just to, because you know people are going to, no matter what, regardless of how incredible something is, you're always going to have people that are like very critical of it, especially if that's their niche in it, right? Now, there is a difference between being critical for the sake of critic and then, hey, this is what I do in my day-to-day, and I'm letting you guys know that this could have been done in a way that was a little bit more efficient and everybody wins. You know, like there's a difference between those things. And so I'm trying to be at least an advocate for those that maybe who are very familiar in the ballroom scene who appreciate K-pop. I think that would have been a way for both sides to win a little bit more. But I do appreciate the fact that she caught somebody who was very well versed in ballroom. That's a plus. I love the fact we had breakers in. And then for me, seeing a little bit of house at the end, it kind of felt like I wish we had a little bit more of a time to shine for house because it looked really great on the track. And just that little 8 count for me was just, I think I personally wanted more as somebody who really enjoys house. But all that to say, I really enjoyed it. It made me want to have fun and learn it. And this was such a vibe. This was great. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch. If you want to see more Chung, there's a good chance that it is, I have quite a few of her work on YouTube at this point. She has not officially been marathoned by me yet, but I feel like I've done about 3 or 4 of her works now, which I don't mind. I think this has been awesome for me. And hopefully in the future I'll have the privilege of taking a look at more of her earlier discography, even earlier than this, because I've just had a total blast taking a look at it. And once again, shout out to Yocho for the recommendation and reaction request. I do have a tier on Patreon that guarantees a reaction every month, and depending on the month, it's either sold told out there's a spot. So if that's something that interests you, you can go check it out, see if there's a spot open. And if it doesn't interest you at all, that's okay too. I always appreciate the discussion and commentary, and this video is of no exception. Also, please keep in mind that for me, with this particular music video, or just when I look at content in general, a lot of times you're going to have a lot of hybrid choreography or hybrid styles represented within the choreography. And so there's also times where for me, I'm trying to sift through what is this fundamentally, what style is this in fundamental? And then from there, how do they innovate it? Because that, to me, helps me be able to appreciate what I'm looking at a little bit more, but also be able to provide any sort of note or understanding as to why people may either really enjoy it or maybe may find some areas of growth within that said thing. I just try to bring some sort of clarity in that. So I apologize if I kind of misread or mislooked into particular styles, especially ones like, let's say, ballroom, that I'm not super fluent in, but I'm just aware of, and I do have some sort of surface level fundamental limbs on. You know, I'm a human too. So once again, my name is Jess. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.